tear, there's nothing left for you to fear. Shake your ass, come over here, now scream. I'm a burning effigy of everything I used to be. You're my rag of empathy, my dear. So come on, help me entertain you. Good evening, network. My name is Robbie Williams. This is my band. And for the next 2 hours, your ass is mine. One hand in the air. Two hands in the air. A bounce. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Now that is one way to start a show, and this is another way. My name's Spence and this is The Prosperous Musician, and today we're talking about how to create a brilliant introduction for your live show. Notice I don't say gig. We're not doing gigs anymore, by the way. If you're watching this, if you want to create more excitement around your live performances, the first thing is to call them shows and not gigs. Why? Because a gig is just something that you do. You show up, you play some music in front of some people. That's all it is. It's just kind of like a rehearsal. To me, that's what a gig is. A show is thought out. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, it has a theme, it has interaction, it has a script almost, it's planned out. There's a structure to it. For a gig is you just turn up, write the set list 5 minutes before, play a few songs. What we've just seen is, of course, Robbie Williams and his massive Nebworth gig there. At the height of his fame, that was the first song. I'm not a huge Robbie Williams fan, I have to say. I'm not a big fan of his music, but cannot deny he is a great show. And you cannot deny that is a very exciting way to start a show. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's great for him. He's at the top of his game. He's got loads of money and resources to create all that stuff, all the lighting and the dancers and all that. What we're looking at here, we're not looking at all the hardware and all the money gone into it. We're looking at what he was actually doing. Okay, so let's just study it for a bit. Now, the first bit, where he's hanging upside down, the curtains come back and he's hanging like an upside down crucifix. Pretty impressive, right? Obviously, most people cannot afford to do that kind of stuff. But do you have something that's a reveal? It doesn't have to be even curtains or anything, but can you come into the stage? Don't just walk onto the stage and say, oh, here's a song about whatever. That's a gig, right? We're talking about a show. So how can you create building up some anticipation? And when you go to a show, there's music beforehand, right? So it's probably not your music, it's a build-up. There's a build-up to it. You don't just turn up to a gig and it just happens. You're waiting, you're building up the anticipation, and that's why they keep you waiting. Build up anticipation, because then you're really wanting to see the gig. You're not just arriving and it's already happened, right? So think of ways you can build up the anticipation. And again, this all depends on your style of music. If you're a folk player, that kind of grandstanding and that kind of big, over-the-top sort of intro isn't going to work for you because it's incongruent with your style. But something a bit more thoughtful, something a bit more poetic, a bit more understated, but still that builds up and then gives a reveal. So again, I'm not here to tell you exactly what to do that. Think about that. How are you going to think about the shows you've been to and you've got excited about it, and then it reveals and slowly reveals what's happening. Okay? But think about a thing along those lines, right? So I've edited obviously that song down to the key points. So for me, that was a great moment for him coming out. No one expected that really. Him hanging upside down across. That is pretty wow. What's going to happen next, right? And also the song itself. Now you might not know this, but that song was actually written for a live show exactly like that, right? That was its purpose, to open the show. All guns blazing, a big sort of theatrical, almost musical number, and it works. It's the same with We Will Rock You by Queen. They wrote that song specifically for a live show. It wasn't just, oh, let's put this thing on the album. They got the boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. They thought about what they wanted. They wanted to get the audience to do something. Because remember, Freddie Mercury, he's another master showman, right? He was the one, he could get audiences to do that, as we saw in Live Aid. So they wanted a song that would get the crowd doing something with their hands, right? So they just did that very simple, boom, boom, clap. Everyone can do that, right? Stamp, stamp, clap. Stamp, stamp, clap. Everyone doing it together. It's a moment, right? You're creating a moment in a show. First moment in the show is, for me, I would say, you were going to that Robbie Williams show. Him appearing, upside down and across. That's a moment in the show. He comes in, the song's started, it's up and running, right? Everyone knows the song. And again, remember, in the song, there's call and response in there. Hell is come and heaven see it. There's nothing else for you to fear. Shake your ass, come over there. Now scream. What are people going to do? Ah! Right? So again, it's written into the song. It's very clever. Get an audience reaction, right? Straight from the get-go. The first verse says that. In the first 20 seconds, you've got a call and response going already. That's another moment. Yeah, they're already screaming their heads off anyway because it's the first thing you see. But they're all ready. You can hear that extra level of screaming going. So then it carries on, and then he breaks it down. I think it's after the first chorus. Let me entertain you. You know the song, you know the chorus. Everyone knows it, singing along. And then he breaks it down. The band are just playing, and I'm Robbie Williams. This is my band. For the next 2 hours, your ass is mine. Simple, really simple. And notice he's introducing himself, even though everybody knows who he is because they're all there. They've all paid good money to go and see him. But think about how you can do that don't just assume everyone knows who you are and what you do and what they're supposed to do. A lot of people might not know it was a 2-hour show. But straight away, he's set his very simple introduction. For me, he could have used, as Robbie Williams, he could have used an adjective for his band. So he could have said, I'm Robbie Williams, this is my beautiful band. Might have got a bit of a cheer, then next 2 hours, your ass is mine, right? That is a great way. So you could, again, if you're a rock band, if you're a covers band, if you're a good time sort of party band, upbeat kind of stuff generally, that kind of intro will work. And you could use it. You could nick his line. People would know that you're alluding to that. Or maybe not. If they're younger, they might not even know. Anyway, so think of something that's short and snappy that you can say at the beginning, and that can hook people in, and they know what to expect. They can settle down. It's like, right, I'm here, 2 hours. I'm here with the Robbie Williams show. This is amazing already. I'm in. I'm engaged. And then the song goes on. Of course, it's Let Me Entertain You. The dancers, everything. There's so much going on there. And then as it gets to the end, as the song breaks down, let me entertain you. So that's different. If you listen to the album or the single version of that, you won't hear him introducing it and have that things in it, and it doesn't have that extended bit at the beginning. So again, think about the songs that you're doing. Don't just play them as they are on the record, because what is the point of playing it exactly the same as people could just stay at home and play it at home and have a better experience. So think about the way you arrange your songs for live. Extend things out, right? Extend the intros to build up anticipation, and that could be your thing for anticipation. Just holding on a G or holding on an A or whatever your song's starting, just building that up, just keeping it on that, letting the band build up, maybe bring it one instrument at a time. That's all you can do. That's all you need to do to build up anticipation, right? You do that for a minute or two, build it up, and then keeping it going over the top, you could say, right, welcome to the whatever it is show. We're going to have a good time tonight. Your ass is mine, or I'm going to rock your socks off, or I don't know, whatever it is. You can think of something short, snappy. Maybe you've got a catchphrase already, and then you're into the song. So extend songs out, do little breaks in there. You could do mashups. There's so many things you can do with songs to translate them into a live setting, so they're different. So people are there's moments in them. You're creating moments in, not just in the set, in the show, but you're creating moments in the song, in the micro. the macro. So that is about an intro. That's one of the best intros you might see. I mean, we'll do this again, and we'll study more intros. Think about it. Think about how you can create an intro to a show that will engage people to the point where they're in. They're locked in. Now they're going, yeah, I get this. I'm in with it. Obviously, Robbie Williams has the advantage of everyone knows who he is, or most people. Everyone at that show will know who he is, right? You starting out, you playing in front of crowds where you're often going to be on the bill where, you're playing to other people's fans, you're playing at a festival, you're probably not going to be that well known. You might have a small core of fans with you who do know you are, but don't take it for granted that people know you are. Explain who you are. Obviously, let the music do the talking, but tell people what you want them to do. Scream, clap, cheer, whatever it is, get down low, jump up. Tell people what you want to do, guide them through it, because they're looking to you for guidance. They want to be entertained. As the song says, let me entertain you. It's not let me play you a song. If you're coming at it half-assed and you're a bit unconfident, then you're not going to entertain them. You're going to lose them. So if you can get them with the first song, it doesn't have to be all guns blazing. Now, I would say a good way of doing this is go through your set list. Give your songs marks out of 10 for their intensity. So 10 being kind of like what we just saw, all guns blazing, loads of like bits in the song, high tempo, a really kind of intense kind of opener. And then obviously 1 being a very kind of like a soft ballad, right? So think about the songs, give them marks out of 10 for that. So a 5 would be a mid-tempo song with a bit of an upbeat chorus, right? A 4 would be certainly, you go more into the ballad territory. A 7 is a bit more upbeat, but not as intense, right? So normally I would suggest start off with a 6, something that's a bit upbeat, but it's not like an ending track. 5, and then go up to an 8 or a 9, come down. What you don't want is 6 and 7, 6 and 7, 6 and 7, 6 and 7, 10, 6 and 7, 6 and 7, 6 and 7, end. That's boring. There's no dynamics in that. It's just as important to think about the actual songs themselves and how they fit in with the set and how you construct a set. So think of it as a flat line, as a kind of a heart rate. So you're going starting off here, then you go up, then you go down, and you go and then up and down, and then finish. Okay? And then you can finish on a 10, like a instantaneous song. You can finish on a 6 or 7, or you could finish on a 7 or 8. Could also be a ballad, like let's use this example while we're talking about Robbie Williams. So even though Angels is probably best known song, isn't a high tempo and call and response like Entertain You, but it is a sing-along song, and it is like the emotional. Everyone wants to. It's a bit like Wonderwall or something like that, isn't it? Everyone comes together and puts their arm around each other and puts the lights in the air. So it's one of those kind of moments. So you can just as easily call that a 7 or an 8 in terms of intensity and sort of engagement. Okay, so is that starting to make sense? So although I've talked to you a bit more, I've given you a bonus here about how to construct the whole set. But what we're really looking at in this video is about intros, how to grab people's attention from the intro. So think about that in your own genre. Think about that, how you can do that with your own music. And if you're stuck, the best thing I do with this kind of stuff is go and see shows. Go and watch more how they do it, how they construct the set, how they rearrange songs for live, how they talk to the audience, what things do they do to get the audience engaged. And it's more important than ever now, because you're not just fighting for people's engagement, you're fighting to get them off their phones, because they're naturally going to film you and everything, and then they'll go, if at any slight lull, any slight time you're losing them a bit, they'll just be into the phones and you're kind of losing them. Good news is, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. What do I mean by that? Most people's shows are gigs. They're doing gigs, they're not really putting that much into it. People are still, in my opinion, are doing kind of gigs. They're not really doing shows. So even just thinking about it, and planning out your set list and putting some kind of thought and rehearsal into what you're actually going to say in between songs, the stories behind them, and creating these moments. Even if you just do that, you're going to be head and shoulders above most people at this level, right? And that's going to make you stand out. That is what the moments are, what make people a fan. They turn you into a fan. They turn people into fans. And if you're at a live show, which they're up and running now, right? That the moments are the things that make people want to buy your stuff, your merch, your albums, because they're emotionally affected. You've connected with them emotionally, and they buy that. Then it's like a souvenir of that emotional moment. They want to recapture that somehow, and they do that by, I want to buy that, so I remember that emotion. They don't think that, obviously. You're buying emotions, right? Same as anything. Any purchase is made on emotions, and then you rationalize it afterwards, the price. So music is just that, isn't it? It's about emotions. It's about touching your emotions. So the way you can emphasize that and bring out the natural emotions in your songs is to create moments within the songs and within your set. So go away now and plan that out when you get in your rehearsal room. Talk about it with your band. If you're a solo artist, make some notes. Just focus on, first things first, don't try and do the whole thing at once, but just focus on the intro. Try and experiment with different intros. If you've got some gigs coming up, try 2 or 3 different ways to open up and see which ones affect the audience the most, because, and again, audiences change, but generally you'll find over time some intros work pretty much with every audience. But it comes with practice, and it comes with trying things out, experimenting. And I said, don't expect to get this right first time. The whole beauty of it, the whole adventure of it, the whole joy of it is trying it out, trying what things work. And it keeps it interesting for you, so you're not just playing the same songs in the same order every night. You're creating a show, an event, something that is going to make you excited and make people excited to come and see it. So I hope that's helped with you, and I want to hear your comments down below. I want to share with me your links about show me your videos that you're doing, show me how you're creating your intros for your shows, but also show me some other intros that I might not have seen there. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Be prosperous.